They don't want to play on with this first game, and they'd rather put their resources into...
You're going for late. We're good.
Yeah.
And then the GG call. Let's start from the end.
Game was over. I'll be honest.
It was?
Game was over. VP wasn't able to deal damage in fights. And there are a couple of reasons for that. What?
I said that was the problem. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
literally just the problem. Like, I mean, it was
like,
that Drow running away, right? And like just living on 100 HP the whole time. The game kind of ended at that fight actually before that.
Credit to like NoTail and Seb, like they itemized, I think, flawlessly.
Perfect.
They did their jobs. I'm of the opinion after watching that like mana potions should be taken off by a Badden's Q. Because NoTail's literally just sitting at the tower spamming with a 50 gold item that provides him effectively a full mana pool.
And that was the thing we worried about, right? We're like, Nature's Proud's going to just bully my lane. He didn't have to. He was sitting all the way back to the tower watching his team farm while he's healing and just damaging the enemy. Yeah. He played it perfectly. Like, NoTail was definitely the MVP, I think.
He has a very good understanding of like ways to use these quirky 5 positions to get ahead in the laning phase. Also, of course, the first blood on Ana, an extra Wraith Band just to start the laning phase, a huge help.
Because if you're saying that this game got out of hand because of the Abaddon, why aren't more people playing Abaddon? You know, we're talking about Abaddon quite a bit. We're talking about saving supports, and especially in the case of OG, how they like saving supports.
It's a good question. I mean, it's definitely good here because they didn't have that much burst on the Radiant. So NoTail, even when he wasn't like nearby, he could always TP in. He would always just get like 5 heals off a shield. He always waited too. You could see he was faking out shields while they were faking out stuns. And I don't know. He just so well.
I think that we were talking about the Prophet being core like the whole draft. They made it the 4.
Yeah.
And I just think that you look at the way this game was played. You know, we also expected a Quaswex Invoker. I think in this strat, it needs to be, even though we did see a ton of Sunstrike kills. Yeah. Because if you're going to do it this way, you need the core Prophet, because then you can play this like more push-heavy lineup. Like you've got Forge Spirits out at like 15 minutes. You've got a Prophet constantly shoving waves. It makes it much easier for your Spectre to play the game, and you can kill these structures. This, I think, is the turning point where you can see Ramsey's like, he thinks he can kill Ana, and then you just can't. Like, he's still alive. Like, we're watching this game, and it's just living through the Oracle Ease as well.
Yep.
Just 4 Wraith Bands Hurricane Pike, I think, is also just a perfect item build. And to your point about why other teams don't pick Abaddon, they don't have 2 cores that they're always able to play around in this, like, very efficient way. They won TI with this strategy. You know, not many other teams can say the same.
I think one of the problems too is this Roche. Like, when was Radiant ever really going to take Roche? OG could just pressure, right? We saw them. They took 50% of Roche's health. They knew they were getting scanned. It felt like they smoked out of it, and they just won. They had the better overall like Roche river fighting, and they just played much better as well. They honestly did. It was just a lot better play.
And a Drow Ranger coming out first.
We knew.
Yes, but do we like? Is that is a hero that we see banned out like an awful lot, right?
Yeah.
Was that just a little bit of hubris there coming out from VP?
I don't think they're going to ban it again. I really don't.
Really?
They just
I don't know.
it. I don't know. Well, yeah,
Considering
we'll
we were just sitting next to the coach, I think a bird told me maybe they'll ban it this game.
I don't.
I don't know if they thought that they could beat it this time. Why not do it again? Because is one game enough to debunk a theory?
It's the best hero in Dota. Like,
Yeah,
why?
but
OG
hey.
has not lost with the hero. They dumpstered Fnatic with it twice. Why keep giving them their comfort zone?
Virtus.pro has already qualified for TI. Their goal is TI. That's going to be their, their end game.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
don't worry, I haven't seen it yet, so it's all good. No spoilers here. But they surely, they want to do everything in their power to be the best of the best come August. And that means being able to beat everything and anyone.
But
so
Drow's
why
gonna
not
get
let
nerfed? It's dead after this point.
But everyone said that about Razor too, and now people just aren't paying. Yes, everyone said that. Yes, Kyle. Everyone said that. You can literally farm the jungle a level a minute with that hero. Now it's just not getting picked. Drow, okay, is a different beast. I agree. I mean, just good the entire game, right, which is a problem. But I agree with Shiva a little bit. Like, you do have to. They've shown they can beat it just because OG beat you once. Are you really think VP? You're the one who talks about them as people. Like, you really think they're not going to be like, we're going to beat these guys?
This is the best practice they've had. You know, losing is where you learn most.
They've lost 2 games at this tournament, all right?
Yeah.
Do you know who else beat VP with Drow?
Who?
Beast Coast.
Yeah.
Do you know where we'd rank Beast Coast in this tournament rankings?
Where?
You tell me.
I would probably put him 3rd to last.
There you go.
Okay.
You
I rest my case.
also said that they were ill prepared for that specific match. So I wouldn't take too much from that. Remember actually the previous major in Stockholm. Virtus.pro was known for losing the first game of the series and then winning the other two as well, just because they learned so much from that first game. Now, we talked to Noan at that point, and he said, we're not doing this intentionally, and I don't think they are intentionally trying to lose, so that's not a thing. But they do maybe put themselves in a bit more tricky position. Looking for those edges, looking for the balance.
I just don't think they'll ban it. Even though I agree with you, I think it is the best hero right now in Dota. I don't think they'll ban it.
You can first pick it and just not care.
I know. I mean, you can do that with a few heroes too, right? I feel like
nothing like Drow.
Nothing like Drow, obviously, but
okay, you can first pick these like versatile heroes, right? Other stuff, Nyx is coming out, Sand Kings, Earthshakers, whatever, Furians. Drow is your carry.
But this is Dota, right? Like, where was the Drow before the Miner? Some people weren't even picking it, and it never got changed, and now people find it. What if someone just finds a new hero that's even better than Drow? But people don't. They're copycats.
But there are no better heroes than Drow.
We don't know that
yet. We don't know
yet.
Oh
my people thought Razor was better than Drow, like, for pretty much any time before this, even Nyx. You're doing some recency bias.
You have a smile on your face. You don't even believe.
I do believe.
That's the way Dota works, though. That's it.
No, I Drow is the best hero right now, but I do think like it is because we're seeing it so much, and you see the talents, you see the abilities. Should they ban it? Yes. Will they?
We'll find
Who knows?
Out. Let's step away from the Drow Ranger for a little bit.
No more Drow.
Because yes, it's a good hero, but at the same time, this game coming into this, before even we started talking about this series, in the green room, we talked a little bit about both teams not having played to their maximum potential just yet. Having seen this game number one for OG, does this game change your opinion? How do you feel like the overall level of Dota was in this particular game?
It changes it for me for OG because they did play well. They didn't even do that well in the laning phase, honestly. Seb died quite a few times. Thompson had some pretty big mistakes, but they showed they didn't let it get to them, and they played well throughout the entire game, while VP, they just had these team fights where it was just complete chaos, and it didn't feel like they took advantage of it. So I think OG definitely just played a ton better than VP.
Yeah, I could agree. I think it was more of strategy than tactics, though. Like, VP were making plays, but it was just that in team fights, they weren't able to execute like they thought they were, just because there was so much sustain on the side of OG. And I can point to, you have all this net worth on Sand King, but it just doesn't, Blink Veil isn't changing these fights. You don't have enough magic damage, really, to make this a super game-breaking decision. Plus, you shield off the Veil every time as No-Tail, and he maxed that spell. So every 6 seconds, he's just removing that debuff. Plus, you lose tempo. Like, the Prophet just kind of dies. You're playing against Ember Spirit, and it doesn't matter what Roger does. Like, he's just getting gunned for every time. There's a Shaker as well. It's just a near impossible game for Roger to play.
But wasn't that their plan all along? I mean, you're going for the Spectre, you're going for the Invoker. It's not like you want to end within 20 minutes. You are playing the long con. You know OG likes setting that tempo high, so you're going for a strategy. From from a very simple way of talking about Dota point of view, there's a late game strategy versus an early game strategy, so you're just going to hold out until Spectre.
I think both were reasonable, right? That's why you picked the Necro like when they picked it, so they had that counter to Spectre late game. I think that the Necro, as you said, like Viper, like they do similar things. They countered the one hero into the late game, and
yeah,
I think
neither team is really on a clock. But that's my thing is when you're a VP, I don't think you should ever go into a match against OG and expect to be slower. Like, you want to try and outpace them.
Okay.
Because that's how OG wins, like, 90% of their games, is they draft heroes, like, they'll be running PA Magnus, okay? But they're still going to be ending games in 25, 30 minutes because they hit a tempo timing and they go for it. Yesterday, that troll game, like, Thompson's going Vlad's first, they do Roche at 15 minutes, and by 25, they've beaten Complexity. Like, that's their style. You want to be able to match them. You don't want to be in a position where you realize, oh, wow, before 20 minutes, we can't even take a team fight. So our only hope is to, like, find these kills with Sand King with some Sunstrikes, but any clash, we're going to try to win, but we can't. And it's partially due to the way they distributed their roles and items.
I think that timing word, it makes a lot of sense, right? OG had that time where we're going to go to Roche, we're going to do it. And VP, they seem chaotic, like you said. Like, their only plays were like Sand King, Blink, Nature's Prophet, teleport in.
Yeah.
That's like, they didn't really have a timing, right? You have a Spectre and an Exort Ags first Invoker. Yeah. Like, where are they finally, like, getting their peak at? It didn't feel like they actually had one.
Yep. And if you look even, like, at the item timings, like, when OG picked, when Necro got items. You compare the two big cores, right? Necro's getting Hood into Greaves. Like, Greaves is huge. Huge. And Vulgar, like, or Spectre rather, has like, you know, maybe he finished a Manta. Great, but there's so many units that the Desolate is never really becoming an issue, and the Manta Illusions with no Diffusal just don't do any damage. So OG can literally just stay together. All you have to do is not get mass
does nothing then too. Yeah, exactly. I like and I also, well, I didn't like the VP, like, as you go back to, is why the Nature's Proud 4 and the Sand King 3 was super weird to me. Why? That was the biggest thing, because I think Nature's Proud actually, like, getting a quick Orchids or something could have definitely changed the game, or even a Solar Crest of Vlad's, but instead he couldn't farm anywhere.
It's literally what we were saying in the pre-match, you know? If they didn't have a Vlad's to close that game, I do not believe.
They didn't have any ores. I think they had an urn.
The Prophet, he went the Spirit Vessel, right? But by the time you get it, it's like 18, 19 minutes. There's no Vlad's. Imagine if you have both of these items by 15, and you have an Invoker now with like a Drums, with an Aghanims. That was another weird thing for me, was that I don't think no one went any build-up items. He just went Treads Axe.
Yeah, and with the Exort, like, you can't really do that, right? We saw him just get run over in the mid lane eventually. Like, once they got that one kill middle, but then once the Ember, he can just keep diving on you, and like No Tail would TP mid, refill the bottle, heal him up. Like, he could just stay in lane forever. It was great.
Yep, and that's what makes these heroes like a bad work for OG, because No Tail has no problem. We talk about position 6. He's position 7.5. Like,
he's the only one that makes it work now, too, because I actually hate this whole position 6 thing. I think you need 5 farmed heroes, but No Tail's like the one person I see, and I'm like, he makes it work. Yeah. It is.
But if you think about it, like those 4 other heroes he's got, like, they all utilize items. Like the 3 cores are all super greedy. Jarex wants a blink ASAP, and you can trust him to play a 6 shaker. We've seen that all year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes sense.
So looking forward to game number 2 of this series.
Back to Drow.
Back to Drow. I mean, all right, we're gonna find out if Drow is gonna be banned or picked in the next game. Virtus.pro also likes playing Drow themselves, so maybe they switch it up, and maybe it's gonna be OG banning it out this time, and they would ban it out, by the way, if they don't have first pick.
And to note, VP, they did not have selection priority. OG took first pick, they took Radiant. This game, VP is choosing second pick, so they're valuing second pick over side, which is curious to me, and also
it's 100% we'll know about the Drow thing now.
Yeah. And it's either going to be their first ban or I think they let it through.
Yep. Yes.
Although maybe you ban it last if you're going to ban it, just so that
the third makes them think a little bit. Yeah, you got to. Yeah. People don't realize, like the order what you do stuff is pretty important too.
The first 3 bans,
like make them think, make them waste some of their reserve time.
There's a lot of really complicated mind games that go down, but then you see like the community kind of just extrapolate that and just get, they start trying to play 4D chess without realizing that like people were picking Jug first 2 for a while because they loved his attack animation. He was a sick laner. That was it. There was no like crazy conspiracy or special strategy involved. It was like, hey, this hero's fun. And also he got a really cool Arcana.
He did.
And then it was like, oh, I want
We got to pick the team.
Pick it.
So the previous game, we saw Virtus.pro banning out Darkseer, Batrider, and Pango. Batrider and Pango, obviously, yesterday OG used them real well against Complexity. Darkseer, I was a little bit of a question mark for me, but I can easily swap that.
I think the biggest Darkseer is weird because he's the only hero. I mean, him and kind of half of Centaur. Like, you know how this hero is gonna play, and there's like almost nothing you can do to stop him unless you have like Oracle or a certain hero. So it's pretty much if you know they're comfortable with it, you just get rid of it because it does. He's such a one-dimensional hero that is so good.
Yep.
And I think you just don't want to play versus that strategy because you're like, well, our carry will get farm, but this Darkseer, you're gonna have a Hod that's just gonna run at you and kill you.
When I think it's less about heroes when you're game planning for OG and really just game planning in general in the patch. It's like, okay, which of my how do my heroes come online, and who can move around to like leave a lane available? In that game, it was Thompson, right?
Yeah.
So he's roaming around the map. That's what gives Jarex levels. That's what gives No Tail some levels later on as well, because they can sit middle and soak up. We see OG do this constantly. There's always one hero leaving lane by the 8-9 minute mark. In addition, you want to be able to buy items that make immediate impact, increase your ability to fight and farm. So you see with Ember, just phase, drums. Necro going for, like, I think it was a crown, a hood, a Greaves. Arcanes at some point, so you can always stay on map spamming Q. And then your final core Drow, literally treads 4 Wraith Bands. Like, this is Dota nowadays. Slot efficiency is no longer nearly as important when you consider how you itemize, because you have your backpack, you have a TP slot. There's no need to be so conservative about like buying straight for these huge items. You want to use every single slot immediately, ASAP, and you see that, and it's also part of what makes Drow so good. Because
Wraith Bands are great.
Hey,
more attack speed for everyone.
It's like the
Let's do
easiest
it.
hero to think about, right? I'm Drow. I will farm more. I will buy Wraith Band into
whatever.
You really like Yasha or Pike. Like that's your main options.
Well, guess what?
What?
We got a draft, baby.
We do.
Whoa.
We're in the bans, and the fact that OG is taking the time to already think about their first ban is interesting because that's normally not the case. This is something that you normally brainstormed before, or at least decided already ahead of time. So
that is curious. Yeah, on the
bonus
very first
time
ban.
used for it.
Maybe just chill. Maybe they're doing the no ban strat.
Oh.
Well, I will tell you what they banned our previous game. The Brewmaster, they did ban second as well. They banned a Doom and an Enigma with that.
I think banning Enigma versus VP is a pretty top priority.
Yep.
Because he's one of those heroes that it's not like a Darkseer, but he plays the same. He just gives his offlaner some rings of regen. He jungles, denies range creeps. You know what's going to happen. The only time I saw like someone counter that was Baboka played Ricky and destroyed crit. But I haven't seen a Ricky in a while, so doubtful.
Of course you haven't seen a Ricky. He's invisible.
Oh, good one. What happened?
That is a Pango in the pool.
Look what happened.
Out of the pool.
They do ban it.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. They should, right? Like I said, I didn't think they would, but they should.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Tasheev,
I think we all agreed on that
they
part.
should.
yeah. Like Tasheev's point, like, hey, you know, VP, they want to learn, but like, what do you? OG has proven they will win games with Drow. Why let them like keep doing it, keep trying it? You know, you already picked a very good lineup against Drow. You understand the counters. Drow's just too good. It's going to get nerfed. It should have been nerfed before this tournament, and that's going to be the case.
First pick, Abba. See, like, what happened, right? Everyone was doing this, a couple months ago, and then all of a sudden Abba fell off, and now if OG starts dominating with this hero again, I think we're going to see every team start picking it.
I think we mostly saw it on Secret and Liquid, though, and not even that much in any other team.
It's one of the few mechanics of Cleanse, which I think the better teams are more interested in abusing. Well, the better you are, the more important these sorts of mechanics that aren't replicable become. You know, if there's no Oracle, you want to save somebody. You want to purge off a disable and allow them to cast spells and items. Like, only Abaddon and Oracle are really
I mean, that's why you sometimes see the last pick Legion if you really need that hero.
Yeah,
one
exactly.
Of the and there's Sand King. What?
Yeah. Again?
I mean, it's a strong opening. No one, like, even though they lost with it, it's such a strong opening. Sand King the Sandstorm damage is just so insane. You have one of the best initiates in the game, and your ulti, you can solo kill quite a few heroes in the game. And Nature's Prophet's Nature's Prophet.
If you're OG, I think you might want to go Ember here.
This early?
Yeah, I think Ember is still one of the best heroes in Dota 2. Excellent synergy with the Abaddon. And I think it's getting banned second phase by VP, especially when you have Sand King and Furion. Furion cannot play Dota against Ember later on in the game, and Sand King just gets rooted, and you're not even able to stun out.
It will be the Pango instead.
Okay.
Now, yesterday when they played Pango on Jerax, it sounds like, you know, they played it as a 4, but they did give Jerax a lane.
He's pretty much the 3, even though he played on 4.
Yes, Seb ended up going more of a full role.
It's also, again, because No-Tail allows this to occur, where neither his 3 nor his 4 really have to sacrifice any pieces of the game because he's willing to do so.
Seb had to sacrifice a lane.
Sure, but he still ended the game like second net worth. He was still able to farm. He had tons of space, whereas No-Tail's walking around with, at a point, 3 wards, smoke, stick,
and a win
TP. No wind lace.
No wind lace?
What are you talking about?
My bad.
That's way too rich.
No, it just give that Pango a couple levels so that he can actually hold his own, and then, you know, Seb takes over again. But by that time, obviously, you already got your value out of that lane as a Pango.
And it's also one of the most, like, the 4 position that loves having more golden items and XP. Like, Pango will use every bit of space you give him.
Yes.
And one of the best, like, team, like, they already have their team fight. They have, like, something they can fight around, and OG always picks someone like that.
And not to mention, you can also still play Pango somewhere else. It's not, per se, a Jerax hero here. So the flex pick,
it's always
as
nice.
you will, is always great.
Even if you're like 99% sure, you never know. Like, we thought the Nature's Prophet would be core last game, and it wasn't, and I think that actually was a pretty big mistake. I could see him switching it up this game.
I was going to say, both Sand King and Nature's Prophet are both of the same caliber in terms of flexibility.
Both want farm, but who knows how they get it.
Yep. And who knows when they get it as well.
Because it could also still be the Nature's... I mean, Nature's Prop can be 3, 4, or 5. That's the thing. Like, they haven't... Like, last time they showed the Oracle, and then you're like, well, we know, obviously, Solo's going to play that. But here, we know he's one of the best Nature's Prophet players, too.
You know, I still like Oracle, though. Like, as a saving support, and I thought Solo had a good game on it as well.
The problem with the lineup, with the way it was executed, was that they're 3-4-5 with no epicenter, which was used often for pickoffs. There's no sustained damage from those heroes. It's a bit of burst, but you run out of gas. You stun, you throw out your Oracle combo, and that's it.
Yeah.
The Prophet ult lands. Like, there's nothing else coming out of these heroes. No one was having a poor game. We discussed why Spectre had next to no DPS output as well, because there's no diffusal. Everyone's stacked up. The Desolate damage is irrelevant. So the VP lineup would cast all their spells, and if nobody's dead, well, what now?
Yep, the Abba Necro, but they ban... I would not hate a Necro ban right now from VP. I think the sustain is insane, right? You don't think? You think it'd be too
I
much?
feel like it's more that the Drow activates the Necro. I don't think it's as... it's just not as fearsome without the Drow.
You guys said previously that you're going to see an Ember band at this stage, but...
Whoa,
I think
guys. Kyle.
I said that. That was me, and I stand by it.
Sorry,
I think that it's a mistake to leave Ember in the pool unless you've got... unless you're baiting it and you have answers for it prepared for your 3-4. I think it's a sick pick for OG with their 4th pick. I just think it's underrated. The slight max build does way more damage than people realize. When you have phase drums and maxed out,
it's nuts.
Yeah, it's too much. It's like 200 plus damage on every hero, every slight.
I think VP would swap it up though, and then you do Pasha, Nature's Prophet, and you just do like Brown Boots Orchid, which we've seen before.
But then you just buy Yules on the Ember. You go drums Yules or something.
But you have to win your lane still, and I mean he did last game kind of, but it requires more middle. I like Nature's Prophet 3 a lot more versus Ember than that 4 we saw.
They also left Shaker in the pool.
Yep. That's
very interesting to me, and I could see a Tops and Pango come out like that. I just don't know about giving OG Shaker when Jarex has proven like it's just such a good hero for them because he roams mid so effectively. There were multiple kills they landed just because he had some sick fish.
And you win a lane because you just block lane at the beginning.
Yeah,
like that hero is just the best hero at 0 minutes.
More stuns.
But because you have the Pango, which has a possibility to beat Jarex's hero, do you really want to be banning out something that you might not even like that might not even have been a position that they still needed?
True, but I mean that's the thing, right? That's why they pick it because it confuses them as well, and you see a lot of time here that 3rd pick always. They go Phoenix, all right.
Yeah. Anti-team fight. It's a similar concept to when people pick it against Undying, where Pango is going to be this crazy sick team fight controller. They'll roll in, pretty much impossible to stop.
Yeah.
And you just drop egg now, and
now no one else wants to go in.
Attack it. Yeah. Exactly. It just throws down a counter to the huge team fight potential of OG's lineup.
We always see Pasha or Roger play the Phoenix too, so they still mix it up. And I mean, Abba, Pango, neither of these two are ever going to hit the egg, so it's just a decent pick.
The thing is, Abaddon can cleanse off the spirits though, and then whatever his core is will be able to kill the egg. And I'm still not sold on it as a selection here. I also don't.
You're not a Phoenix fan?
Not a fan when you have Prophet specifically. It feels like your whole draft on VP now is super susceptible to any sort of high reach that OG loves to abuse, right? How many times have we seen them play Ember, PA, Spectre? Like, this is their bread and butter. And you have a draft that is incredibly susceptible to those sorts of heroes.
True, but it feels like, right, VP played the last game where we want to win our lanes and just win it again. It feels like that's kind of what they're doing again, but it failed last time, so.
I think it's likely that we'll see a solo Prophet at this phase, and I think it'll be a core Phoenix. I like core Phoenix
Pasha plays
more.
the most, me too.
Yeah, and he also has the most Phoenix games, I believe, in all Dota 2.
That's pretty good.
When he first joined VP, I remember someone going through his stats. It was like 1,400 plus. He's played a lot of Phoenix.
You think he does a sick Phoenix impersonation?
Yeah, that's exactly like I thought I was in Dota 2 in the game.
The voice actor's here. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
And now
you talked about it, that long range, that PA.
It's like, hey guys, we need to get onto the back line and kill them because if we allow them to just cast their spells freely, we'll lose. They immediately go PA. I wouldn't be surprised to see a mag immediately and an OD in response. I am not sold. It's a great counter to the Abaddon though.
It also means that if the PA, PA now can actually kill the egg because it doesn't matter where you jump to, you still get the attack speed. And now you can put the PA under so the egg will go off.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter who is hitting it most at that point. You can make it go off. And I think the duration works out properly so that you can actually hit it right after they come out.
I can agree. I'm just concerned that PA with a mag would skip Battle Fury, get Deso BKB,
it.
and all of a sudden your entire draft can no longer touch him.
Sure. And once again, VP just they're never going to take Roche. While you see OG, they have one hero, and that's all you need. You have a PA. Yep. And I'm so nervous because you have this Phoenix Sand King that fights well around Roche.
Oh, wow.
But you'll never be able to take it. And there it is, the Mag PA.
I mean, and look, OG, credit to them. Like, it's been the same concept since TI, and
it works.
It works. Like, they take some time to figure it out. AKA wait for Anna to quit vacation and come back to come play some dope.
Makes it a little bit easier. I mean, the one problem is here, you do have a Magnus Pango. Like, either of them kind of waste their ulti. Then you have, like, this ABBA PA who do have low cooldowns, but you could just get run over by Phoenix Sand King. Like, you probably won't win a team fight unless you disengage perfectly.
That's the concern.
Also, it's a
lot of single
Seb
target.
Magnus or what?
Huh? Yeah, I think it's a Seb Mag.
Yeah.
It could be a Thompson Pango. I'm not sure. What's the matchup like mid?
Well,
Pango
I
versus
can,
OG?
I can tell you, however, that OG, when they faced EG, they had an Ana PA, a Thompson Pango, a Seb Mag, not the same support duo, but there was still a saving support. There was an Oracle.
Yeah.
Their final pick was a Tusk at that point, but it was that combination. They did lose, though.
Yeah. I mean, the Tusk, I was talking to a couple players. The Tusk ruined their draft, but not surprising, right? That they're still using the same core concept. They're just placing, they're changing up the foundation a little bit and ensuring that maybe their finisher will change up. Because this is a similar scenario where I think their draft is solid, but if they were to go something like a Tusk and core Mag Pango, I would not be a fan.
Grimstroke instead.
Ah.
Yo, you don't like that?
I don't know. I just think Thompson might get crushed middle, and that makes the draft harder to execute.
I think it's decent versus, right, if it is going to be the solo Nature's Prophet. Like, the OD is going to be there, but you don't really have the best, like, kill potential after the OD setup, right? He can almost always get away unless the Sand King commits, because Nature's Prophet and Phoenix do nothing against that. I actually think it'll be decent for Pango.
There's also just no synergy with the Grimstroke ultimate at the moment. You can double dagger.
Yeah,
double coil.
You don't need it.
Okay, if you say so.
I think what is going to be really useful for that is Phoenix can't really go anywhere. You know, the movement, the restriction is going to be more important than whatever you throw at them. And you can always go for Atoses. You know, you build into stuff that you can throw at them.
And Grim's always good versus NP in the later part of the game because you can just spam it out.
I have a question.
What's the Ramses hero?
Ramses Zero is about to be decided. I have a question.
What is it? Hurry, 20
All right.
seconds.
Soulbind is on 2 targets. There's a dagger, but the dagger talent is already with the 3 daggers. Do you throw 6 daggers?
No,
I don't think
you
so.
do not.
Oh.
I will guarantee that.
That's a shame.
I think.
I hope. I'm sweating now.
I could see Viper come out, or maybe some break mechanic versus PA is always excellent. Anti-BKB spirits themselves.
Ember Spirit.
I'm concerned, guys. It's going to come down to the PA, but a fat PA, you know, the lack of Roche taking potential in VP is a bit scary as well. I've just seen OG win this game too many times, where they get one good fight, they get an objective, they get Roshan, and all of a sudden the PA is at a point where a crit kills anything, and it's so tough to play into that sort of style. I'm torn.
You're torn. That's already a good sign for you guys at home, because that should be an even game.
All right, panel, let's hold hands and think. It's going to be VP. They have the better team fight. I think that this is going to go a lot better. I think Ramses is a lot better on this hero than the Spectre is just so slow, and I love watching Ramses play a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I will say I think VP about 57-43.
I would probably go OG 54-46.
So pretty even. You know, if you do the cumulative math.
Crew. And what would that math be, Shiva?
I do not know. I do not care. I just want to watch some awesome Dota, and I'm sure you do too. So let's get that going for you. Let's head over to our commentary team of Fogged and Owen for game number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, OG versus VP Game 2 are ready to rock and roll. Let's see if VP were indeed in the right mindset to sort of say, Game 1, let's not mess around with that one. Let's just start afresh. We've got some new drafts, new heroes. Fog, this approach in Game 2, is it looking good for VP? Or is this time round, would you sort of say, like some of the panel was saying, that OG has got a bit of a better draft?
OG's got this. I mean, they've got very comfort, right? And I believe that they did a similar style in the last game where they had, you know, they have these farmers, but they also have these pressure heroes. And they had Topson playing an Ember where he just ran around making space. I think we're going to see a similar thing when he's playing a hero like Pango. He's just going to try to run around and make space. And right now, it looks like he's trying to actually bait no one here. They're actually bringing 4 heroes up for it, too.
They've got the dagger slow into the nuke from the Grimstroke, blocking no one off as well. No one, he's going to go down. The tips as well. I mean, OG, no. Last game, it was a bit of a... It felt like a tilt GG, and what better way to start the second game by killing no one?
Look at the way they did that, though, right? Like, Topson just walked up the hill, made it so he's like, hey, come at me, like, keep hitting me, and they're chasing him around, and meanwhile, the rest of the team smokes on their high ground, and then just comes and actually gets a free kill for it. And if you look at the... they're actually continuing to go for a dive. They won't be able to get it, but if you look at the items, Ana actually went for... He's got mid items as well on the PA. They both have mid items. He has shared tangos and an Orb of Venom. So this Orb of Venom is going to allow them to actually go for those type of chase kills. Cool. A little bit of a different approach. A little bit of a different change-up. And now they're running an aggro tri-lane with it. So Seb will be put alone down bottom. And they're actually going to be moving Ramses down there as well, too. So, all right. So OG already getting some pressure and putting VP onto a back foot. And they even get a D-ward in the mid lane, too, for Topson now. So immediately get some extra regen for himself going.
We did see what in the first game Seb was put on his own in a lane where there was a lot of kill potential between the two heroes on VP. Would you say they're pretty much the same here? I mean, I'm looking at what, Sand King and an Ember, 2 heroes with lockdown. Seb does have to be a little careful, doesn't he, as the levels go up? Yeah,
he at least has a mobility, though, right?
Sure.
Like Necro, you have to walk. This one, you can skewer, and they're both melee. So if you do actually get a pretty good skewer, you may be able to get a kill under the tower if they dive too far.
Oh, up top, Pasha.
Pasha.
Taking quite a lot of hits here. Jarek's nearly getting it there with the right clicks. The attack slow from the spirits the Pasha had there did keep him alive. Solo. It's going to be a different situation. OG able to run him down and get a second kill on the board.
And Notel dropping 2 HP. The trains can't get him. He's going to suicide.
Ooh.
Top, Seb will get the skewer onto Ramsey to the tower. He will dodge like one attack there with the slight, but... Yeah, OG putting the pressure on with a little bit of a change, right? Putting a PA in an aggro tri-lane, but enabling it because they started him with an Orb of Venom, which makes the PA a lot more threatening. Your dagger always gets that oof going onto the enemy. And, you know, Abaddon plus Grimstroke, they do a lot of damage at level 1. With their miscoil, with their spam, look how much they're dishing out. And they even are now going to be able to get a side pull and deny a bit of the creep wave, too.
And after there's a couple of levels, you know, with the Nephrotic Shield as well, you could play so aggressive. You can get behind that tower onto these heroes. So VP, they've got to be careful up here.
So I think the big thing for VP, though, is this mid matchup, right? Like, no one, once he starts getting some levels online, Topson's going to start to have a little bit more trouble, but we'll probably see him still be getting fine lasted because he's a Pango. You know, you just swashbuckle for the majority, and no one actually gets... Okay, we'll be fine. So some fun later instances that we can hopefully potentially see is, of course, with our lovely Lucky Shot and Grimstroke, we have a nice combo with Phantom's Embrace, where if you do get disarmed and you have Phantom's Embrace on you, you won't be able to kill it in a lot of situations. So we'll have to see which procs come out, because Lucky Shot is going to be a crazy ability in this game versus like how good the silence can actually be, right?
Oh, for sure.
Phoenix, Sand King, Ember, OD, it's a great ability in this game.
Absolute nightmare for OD. Getting disarmed or silenced, either case, you're going to be pretty useless.
Yeah. Seb's still able to get quite a decent amount down here, as we see on this Magnus. As soon as the wave starts pushing out, that's when he's under a bit more threat. As top, Notel.
We'll go down this time. Pasha just able to simply dive in, swoop forward, take the kill. Notel didn't have the mana or any sort of play to go for a miscoil deny. So VP will get themselves a kill onto the scoreboard. Mid lane, Topson tries for swashbuckle. No one will be able to dodge it. Silence does proc. Topson's got the bolt charge. He's going to continue to chase. TP comes in. Shield crash forward. No one. Well, he's going to go down. One more right click for Topson will do it now. Solo. Got to be a little careful as well. They can. They don't want to. They didn't want to dive any further. Topson did have a swashbuckle left, but didn't want to play underneath the towers. He is fairly low on the HP.
No one's got to be a little bit more careful just now. I mean, the TP rotation happens, so he doesn't have to worry about the Grimstroke for the next like 30 or 40 seconds or so. But using the Astral when he's that far up on the high ground, right? He was very far up. It allowed Topson to actually make that play. He also got, of course, the Lucky Shot proc, which allows him to do that. But you kind of have to expect it at this point that he will get at least one of those procs. But Jarax, he actually backs up in smoke, so he might try to go for this play again, thinking that no one might not expect it, but we do see Rogers in the area too.
I mean, this top lane, though, it does continue to look a bit of a mess here for VP. It's just a lane where it's so hard to get anything out of.
Bottom.
Pash is up there, but he's unable to really hit the creeps. Down bottom, indeed. They're getting low. Can he finish him off? The Ember running himself away. Actually still trying to fight back. And back in towards the mid. Thompson's going to be making that move in onto no one. He's got it once again with the backup of Jerax. They get the kill. Thompson is tanking the tower a little bit, and Roger will turn up and get the kill in return. Leads him with the burrow strike. They will find him. Get the 1-for-1.
They're putting a lot of emphasis, though, on making sure that no one gets shut down heavily, right? Like, that's 2 big rotations coming in. And we see Jarax actually goes for the 2 points early in Inkswell. I actually really like that, because the first point in Inkswell, we've seen how much this spell got nerfed, right? The level 2, it's fairly significant amount of damage as well. So that 2-second stun, 200 damage coming into play.
Yeah, and it makes sense as well, because you have these 2 cores who can very easily get on the front line.
Exactly.
Swashbuckle in, dagger and a jump forward, you are going to be able to close that gap and get that benefit of the Inkswell.
Hey, even the Magnus in the later stages. We could even see, like, high points being put inside of that spell this game. Because it does do a lot of damage if you're able to actually stick on a target. It's 400. It's one of the higher, and also like a 4-second stun. So,
on top lane, Roger will have the cover of the Sandstorm. No detection up there to stop it. Bottom lane, Ramsey's in trouble. Dragged back with the Shockwave. Ramses is gone. A quick rotation from Thompson allows them to find that big kill onto the Ember Spirit, slowing down Ramsey's game. The pretty much the core on the map for VP that was having the best of times so far in the lanes.
Jarax is killing it with these rotations on the Grimstroke. He's 0-0-5. He's been involved in all of them, and he enables Thompson to be able to make those moves because of, like we said, that Inkswell.
Yeah, had a fantastic start in the Shaker in Game 1. And as you say, just continuing that sort of caliber of performance here in the start of Game 2.
Yeah, and now they've even moved Roger up top, and with Pasha, and Solo is just actually jungling. And he's under vision of it too, so OG's like, all right, well, their 5-position NP is just going to jungle, so they probably feel pretty good to just make moves around the map. They probably feel really great about their lanes right now on the side of OG. They've got a Magnus free farming bottom. He's got high levels of Empower ready. PA is absolute free farm top. Pango is not farming freely, but he's doing what we kind of expect the tops to do this game and just run around. Even though it's only 6 minutes in, he's actually just making moves around the map.
We'll see actually around the rune spot. Notel will be able to take the DD away from VP. Roger has got the burrow strike though. Notel could be in a bit of trouble. He's trapped by the Sprout. The Treant blocks as well, being attempted by Solo, but won't be successful as Notel's able to move himself around. No one has moved over for this. They really want to get this kill as he is taking on all the way away from the mid lane. The stun comes out, but in fact the Sprout, Notel's going to be knocked outside of it. In fact, he gets the deny off. And no one, he's used the sanities, but it didn't get the kill. Notel was able to turn, miscall, deny. If that doesn't tilt no one, I don't know what will.
Oh my, everything is going wrong for VP right now. Also bottom lane, they do the Inkswell plus RP combo and they just kill Ramses as well. They were trying to, they were trying to body block the Abaddon because they don't want to hit him. Because if you hit him, you're like, oh god, he's going to deny himself. So they tried really hard, but now there's no OD ult as well. They lose their Ember Spirit, who's not, he's farming okay, but he's getting punished down bottom. Already 2 deaths.
They should get Ana here. They've got 4 heroes and they will find it.
They really need that. They're going to lose probably 1 hero here as Thompson will come in with the Rolling Thunder.
But you can see VP just sort of banding together now, so the other 4 around no one being like, we've got to make stuff happen, otherwise our OD ain't going to be too happy with the state of this game.
No, definitely not.
They've got to make things happen, and VP, they will do so there.
Top 3 net worths on those cores of OG still, and it's a PA with the top net worth, and now he's going to start getting that max level, max level in power. It's already level 4 for Seb.
I know Roger, of course, is in here. Still lacking detection to deal with him. Sandstorm will end. They've actually got their eyes onto the bigger kill potential, or at least getting Ramses away from farming underneath the tower.
He's 1 creep from 6. He will have it now. Should be much safer. So the reliable stun on OG is still a bit, it's not really there, right? They have like the silences they can get off.
It's all the silences and the slows.
It's a lot harder for them to actually just like get a straight stun. They just don't really have it in their lineup, except for that, like, the Magnus RP and the Rolling Thunder, of course.
And after that kill on Ana, Ana is now down on this bottom half of the map, a little bit safer. He has the Magnus nearby, so he can constantly play and farm with the Empower.
They're just prepping for him. Right now, this is prep. He can just make his moves to lanes, but his real thing is just get some levels so that he can do Ancients. Because I've already been seeing OG stacking that whole left side. They have Ancient stacks and everything.
Could be in a bit of trouble here. He's already used the dive, and with the Aphotic Shield on Ana, Ana could just move forward and take him down. That's Pasha gone.
All right, well, Ana now level 6.
Yeah, Ana not only getting farm, but getting kills as well. Seb, he's going to get another one from here as he RP solo, drags him back. There is a burrow strike to momentarily hold Ana back, but he's still able to jump forward, chase down solo with the dagger. That's going to be another kill here for the PA. Roger has got the backup of Pasha back in the lane. And the cover of the Sandstorm still lacking the detection. So they will not be able to get that Sand King, but still, Ana's game...
He's getting enabled in kills, and now Empower plus Treads, and what? I think they've got double Ancient Stack. Actually, not that much. Okay, double Ancient Stack and just double Hard Camp. I thought they'd actually stacked it a bit more. Maybe they missed one or two, because I saw Jarex was standing there for quite a bit.
Ooh. Top play top, so he nearly got that. Ramses was playing on the edge of his seat.
That
was
was
obviously got hit by the first swashbuckle. And yeah, just did TP out just before Thompson had it back off cooldown, because that would have certainly been a kill on him, as he was sitting on very low HP. Ana, yeah, picking up these Ancients. This PA's game, it really is starting to skyrocket very early.
And you can't feel good about this at all on the side of VP. You're playing versus a Magnus PA lineup that has now done incredibly well in the early game, and you can't actually put pressure.
No, and it's a hero pick that does incredibly well against sort of your 3 cores.
Yeah, and like who's going to take a building here on VP? They have the NP, but it's a 5-position NP, so them actually going to group up and take a tower is extremely difficult for VP. So them getting invasive plays to try to kill this PA that's just going to farm the jungle with an Empower is going to be so difficult. This is definitely problematic for VP.
Should get Jarex hit, as he is caught alone on the bottom lane. He has an Ink Swell, but won't get it off in time. So Pasha and Roger will be able to put a stop to the reign of the Grimstroke.
They'll get themselves 3 bounties too, so that's nice. That's something coming there for VP, and they now have gotten themselves a closer in that gold. Gives him much needed space to Ramses. As long as they're making moves away from him on the map, he can farm a little bit on this Ember Spirit who struggled.
Thompson is trying to go for Pasha. Pasha does have a Supernova, but on his own can't really, even if he used it, would have probably still been taken down. Roger and Solo have to.
Roger.
Whoa. If he hits this Rolling Thunder, Roger's just straight up dead, and he will.
He might go for more.
Just rolls and gets the kill. Instantly comes out of the Rolling Thunder. He's been empowered, and he's got another swashbuckle. He should be able to chase this one down. Solo will try for the TP out. Thompson unable to get the swashbuckle play, though. Goes for the swashbuckle, but not being sort of the space inside the Sprout, it pushes him off to the side, so he won't find Solo. Solo can escape.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to imagine he clicks inside of it, but I guess there's like the Sprout plus all the trees there.
He can't land in it. Yeah.
That was pretty huge for Thompson. Almost, I mean, he just forced so much rotation out of VP, giving more space for his team as now top. Ramses will jump to the Remnant and be okay.
He's got to be a little bit, but he's trying to turn around and fight back against this. You know, Seb doesn't have RP, of course. Was used just moments earlier.
No one's getting space too on the OD. He has a Midas finished up with that double no, almost level 10 too. So, you know, they've gotten a little bit out of the map when they've been getting pressured so much from OG. Top, Ana, Inkswelled, Ramses.
He didn't have a Remnant out. He only just put one out now, so nothing to be able to instantly jump to. And that means another death here on that Ember. Knocked out of the lane, knocked out of the game.
And they're trying to get themselves some split push going down bottom, so they have brought Solo to at least start to hit the tower. But what we were talking about, you know, they don't really have the greatest tower hit. Kind of on both sides, but OG at least, you know, they empower, which enables it.
And,
the 5
and soon to be a Desolator, you know.
Soon to be a Desolator, indeed.
That's going to help with the push.
Yeah, pretty interesting build too for Thompson. He's actually gone for a medallion. He's going for a Solar Crest build.
That's definitely a different one on the Pangolin.
Right? I actually haven't seen that.
I mean, I guess it's just sort of feeling that the timing that they're hitting, he knows what, if he gets that, plus sort of the PA having a deso, people are going to die very easily.
Roche is definitely going to die very easily too.
You get those objectives as well. Thompson now will be chased. He's got the Rolling Thunder. Will be able to roll out. Now Ramses in trouble. Ramsey did go for the slide. I guess he didn't time the chains. Oh, he didn't have any points in it.
Yeah, no points in it just yet.
Still no points. Okay.
They'll still find Thompson.
Yeah, they'll get him.
And no one will get it, so that's actually just a gift.
That's a smile back on no one's face for sure.
Oh,
I would imagine.
He's like top net worth again, almost level 12. Well, going to be approaching that level 12.
And with that Midas, he is going to continue to rocket and farm.
Okay.
As long as he gets that space and doesn't end up getting caught out in lanes and sort of hitting the jungle as he is, he shouldn't be.
Yeah. And we did actually see, I was talking about how we might see Jarex go for this max Inkswell build. He did. He actually went 4 points in Inkswell this game because he has so many targets he can throw it on. Not even having a point in his ultimate at the moment. So 2-1-4 on that Grimstroke. I was saying, look, it's 400 damage and a 3.7 stun, right? If you can actually get it to connect, It is extremely powerful, and they have RP.
Yeah, and it's not one of those games where, obviously, like later on, the dagger, it's nice. There's nothing that you're really sort of double casting with the ult at this point that's going to be amazing in terms of point target spells on OG's lineup.
Yeah,
what is there?
It would be pretty much your own spells.
Miss Coil, your own spell.
It would be your own Phantom's Embrace.
There's nothing insane, like, you know, that Laguna or that single target nuke.
Later, though, you know, those 6 daggers.
Later with the daggers, absolutely. But no, as you say, at this point, you can definitely understand having the extra value in the Inkswell.
That is it's 1350.
That's a quick one.
So they've got Deso, they've got Medallion. And look, they're looking for this fight around the top rune. Thompson.
So you don't get the lucky shot proc onto Ramses. They'll go for the Supernova. Thompson's going to continue to roll in with the Rolling Thunder. No tail will be found.
Roger. He's just dead in 3 hits.
Thompson just rolls him over. He's still got the Rolling Thunder going. In fact, he's going to get the 2 of them here with the Swashbuckle. There's the Stuart Fort, the RP as well. That's going to be Roger dead. Maybe they can get more. Anna just jumps straight in, Sep with the double kill. They'll turn towards no one. No silence. Critted to pieces by Anna. Anna jumps in. All 5 dead on VP as OG team wipe them. The Deso timing, it was there. Anna was ready to go. So was the entirety of OG as VP trying to sort of blindly fight up into that area where OG have the high ground. They'll now move on to take that mid tower. There is going to be a TP in from Roger. He's going to come forward to try and... I don't know what the plan was there.
He's just dead.
He just wanted to die, apparently. As that's another quick kill for OG. An unnecessary death from Roger.
And now there's bounties, too. So they can go set up for those bounties. Wow. That was quite a series of events. I mean, Thompson just pops the Rolling Thunder, and they can't actually do anything to kill him inside of that when he's just distracting 4 heroes in the back lines, or 3 heroes in the back lines while the Phoenix ult's going off. Roger commits forward and gets killed by 2 hits by Ana. So the fight's there like, oh my god, we lost our Sand King already, and then they're all clumped up. They get hit by all of the AoE spells of OG.
Oh,
Solo.
See Solo. Yeah, he heads into the OG's half of the map, but Sep's able to just walk him down with the Inkswell upon him. Solo's dead. So they get the disarm, they don't get the silence. So Ramses will be able to remnant away. Still has to be careful farming out like this. You get unlucky against that lucky shot, you're probably going to die.
I mean, it's pretty crazy how much damage. I mean, this Inkswell, look, 4-1-4. When you have the heroes that you can actually put it on, it's really crushing. Yeah.
And look at Anna as well with the Deso, and then if he gets the BKB, he's literally unkillable. They cannot kill the PA once he has a BKB on top of that Deso and Vlad's.
And he got the whole Vlad's after that last fight. So now, I mean, Roche is on the table because in the last one, you know, you're sustained. Sure, you have the Abaddon to heal you guys up, but you're a little, you're a little skeptical. Now you have the full sustain for that Roche. So if they get like 1 or 2 kills, they could just walk into it. They might even just force it now because they have RP up in 20.
Yeah, super nice with the Swashbuckle as well, having that aura for Thompson.
Yeah,
he's getting that sort of burst heals, you know, intermittently throughout the team fights. VP, I mean, what sort of VP? What do VP do here to slow this down a little bit?
They at least have Blink on Sand King right now. So like around the pit, if they can try to get some good jump, but it looks like OG's going to kill it just too fast. They got wards down too already. No Tail puts them up on that high ground. Pasha still only level 9 as well.
I mean, can they stop this? As you say, that they've got to get some...
Roger gets his everything cancelled.
I mean, Pasha's going to go in with the Supernova, but they're just going to be able to turn and kill it. That's the sun down. Pasha's gone. That's your 2 big team fighters not there. 3
and look
dead.
at the high ground. No one also getting gone on here.
He is in a whole world of trouble too. He'll try and slide himself away. Does have the hold onto Seb. Thompson, is he going to continue to chase? He's got another Swashbuckle. No one will go for the TP out by the trees, and that will mean that no one escapes. But still, it's another time where VP, they're losing 3. Ramses will still play around on that mid lane, had the Remnant up top, so will keep himself safe.
It's 22-6, Owen. I mean, they had the whole fight prepared, right? No Tail puts the war on the high ground. They put a sentry. VP, they have like no vision in the pit. Seb just walks up and throws a shockwave to hit Roger, and then Roger's blink is canceled. His epicenter gets canceled as well. Yeah, the fight's like impossible from there. You see Pasha just dies because he's only level 9. It's such a low-level egg. And now this is a PA, level 14, Deso Vlad approaching BKB. This game looks impossible.
I mean, you got the full Solar Crest as well on Thompson. I mean, if VP is sort of in that mental state where they called GG as early as they did in game 1, you got to sort of worry about this game too, because it's looking very rocky for them, and it's got to be frustrating to play if you're VP at this point.
Oh, I mean, I absolutely agree. I mean, I look at Ramses. Ramses has phase boots and a drum right now. Look at the net worths. They're not really there. They're not able to stand toe-to-toe versus OG whatsoever inside of these fights. It's just going to be free reign for them. And they even have, they have a mech on top for Seb. So VP doesn't have something in response for that too. So even though they've been losing the fights already, and Seb did have the mech in the last ones, he has it, and now he's going to have, I believe, a full Guardian Greaves too.
Absolutely. It's as you say, you just look at this from a sort of a viewpoint in items. It's